What's going on, everybody? So, I just wanted to do a quick video just to kind of break down everything that's going on with a lot of the book stuff. I know a lot of people have been asking me what happened, what's going on, what the process is from here, and going forward, just in general. So, it's going to be the short version, but basically. I was picked up by a publisher about 2 years ago. I was self-published at the time. Um, with that publisher, I had to wait until November to get my first book re-released. I did not mind waiting. During the time, I worked on a prequel called A Soldier's Crest: The Dragon Knight Chronicles. We released that in July, ahead of the book one re-release. Then book one re-released in November, and everything was going pretty smooth. I was working on the book two manuscript. I was working on a side story for Mira, and shortly after that, the company decided to rebrand and change the name, which I was totally fine with. I was told that A Soldier's Crest would be the basically the flagship title, like it would be the first book coming out for the new publisher. So I stayed and decided to see where that would take me. And yeah, so I stayed there. The book was supposed to be republished again the following November. Um, and it was going to be book one, and the prequel would come out in November, and book two and the mirror side story I was working on would be out in December. I worked on the books and got all the manuscripts done and ready to go. And then when November came along, there was an issue with the ISBN. I think the company that the publisher was using got hacked or something, and the books got delayed. And then book one and the prequel were going to be coming out. Um, I believe it was like January 17th, and that didn't really go very smooth. Book one never went up, back up on Amazon, and um, the prequel did go up, but where the prequel did not have typos the first time it came out with the first version of this publisher, now it had all these typos that were basically changing part of the story. So that was no good. So we had to take that back down. And then basically didn't hear from the publisher for about 2 weeks despite trying to get in touch with them. And then they sent out an email to everybody that the company was just ending. It wasn't going to exist anymore, and that was it. That was the last I heard about it, the last I've heard anything about it. So luckily, I got a literary agent shortly before all of this went down, and luckily they were already looking into finding me a more solid, consistent publisher at the time that this was happening, because there were already a couple of red flags and some things I was concerned about. So I was just trying to um, still leave on good terms if I were to get something. And I had told the owner of this publishing company that I would be doing this. So it was no hard feelings, nothing like that. Um, but I just try to stay as professional as possible. And anybody that knows me, that was talking to me during this situation and while everything was going on, knows that I tried to handle it as best I could with as much professionalism as I could. Um, but, it wasn't meant to be, and things just kind of happened the way that they happened. And not much we can do about it. But luckily, I do have a literary agent that is looking into finding me a new home for Soldier's Crest. We haven't had any luck yet. Obviously, anybody who's gone through this process or knows of the process knows it's a very long process. You get rejected a lot, and you got to deal with the um, longevity of it, I guess. Like, it's not going to happen overnight. So try to be patient and wait and let that roll. So the other purpose of this video was basically to talk about what I'm going to be doing moving forward while I wait for Soldier's Crest to find a new home. And what that is if you follow me on social media, you've been seeing me post these things about something called Codename MOA, or MOA. So codename Moa, that's what I'm calling it. I'm not calling it MOA. So if anybody talks about it or wants to talk about it, codename Moa. So with Moa, we're basically just going to kind of just work on a brand new story in a genre that I haven't really touched much yet, but I've been eager to jump into. I always told myself that everything I wrote would be based in the SoldiersCrest universe. As of this moment, Moa is not. So we're kind of branching out. We're trying some new things with sci-fi, and yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I just started working on it this week, so it's still very early stages. I'm still working out a lot of the kinks, a lot of the character names, still doing some world building as I go. I got most of it done. But yeah, so I'm working on this new project. I have a lot of plans for it, a lot of ideas that I never really executed with the Soldier's Crest because it was self-published and then it was published and then I wasn't sure what I was able to do, what I was allowed to do. So I never really explored a lot of these avenues with ideas that I've had for a long time. So with Codename Moa, we're going to explore some of those things. And one of those things is potentially doing a Patreon. I haven't really decided if that's the route I want to take yet. But if I do, I will be providing a ton of like exclusive content, probably a lot of Soldier's Crest content as soon as I get a publisher and find out if it's okay for me to share these things. But yeah, so if I do a Patreon, it'll be a lot of exclusives, a lot of like free prints and behind the scenes like concept art that I'm getting made and a lot of different things as far as that goes. And then the other thing that I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be streaming live on Twitch, which I stream video games right now. I've always wanted to try to incorporate the writing aspect of what I do into my streams, so I will be doing something with that. I don't know if I'll be writing it live necessarily just because of spoilers and things like that, but it depends on how active the community is. Like if the community is caught up and they want me to write it live, then I'll write it live. But what I will be doing is I will be reading chapters live on Twitch because I feel like that's something that if I'm saying I'm reading a chapter and somebody's not caught up, that they won't really get spoiled because they should be caught up if they're that into it, you know? But hopefully it works out the way that I'm thinking. In my head, it makes a lot of sense and it's going to work. But the idea is that I write up a chapter, go live on, say, like Monday, read the chapter live, edit it, get it ready to go, and then put up the chapter later in the week. What I would also like to do is kind of like break down my thought process in writing the chapter and what my ideas were and why I did certain things. Because I think that's a really unique aspect that I haven't really seen done. If it has been done, let me know. But yeah, I haven't really seen stuff like this done before. Like, I mean, imagine if you could go back and watch a YouTube video of J.K. Rowling reading a part of Harry Potter, like your favorite part of Harry Potter, and you could go back and get like extra insight on like how she was going about writing that scene or going through like the process, or if I decide to write it live, like imagine being able to go back and watch George R.R. Martin write, you know, that special Ned Stark scene at the end of book one, right? Like, I mean, it's kind of unique and different and like an aspect you don't really get to do. And I mean, I'm not the best writer in the world, and I am going to be like kind of putting myself out there and open to a lot of like criticism and things like that. But I still think it's a really cool way to kind of do something a little different and get like instant feedback and instant interaction. And, you know, like if somebody has a question about the chapter from the week before or one of the earlier chapters, they can literally pop into my stream and ask me a question about it. And I think that's an interaction that I think is going to be a lot more relevant and done more often in the future as like kind of media and social media evolves. Like I'm sure writers get asked questions all the time on social media, but they're not checking every single message. But if I'm doing like a live broadcast, whether it's on Instagram, on Twitch, wherever, you know, that's something that's a little different. Like there's questions I won't really be able to avoid because people will be asking them in chat, and it'll be that live interaction, and it'll be difficult, but it'll be fun and interesting and different, and that's just kind of what I'm trying to do. So that being said, that is the goal. I stream on Twitch. My name on there is, well, the URL is twitch.tv/val_starlight. I'll put the link in the description below, and I'll post it on social media as well. I think most people have seen me post it on social media already, so probably don't need to get that out there too much. Anybody with any concepts or ideas or anything they want to run by me, I am at SoldiersCrest. If any artists stumble upon this video, definitely hit me up. I am looking to commission a lot of different things for this series so that I have a lot of art that I could put in the videos and that I could use on stream. So definitely hit me up if you want to get in touch with me on social media. I'm at SoldiersCrest on basically everything. I have a Facebook page, which is, I think, just called the SoldiersCrest page on Facebook. So if you want to hit me up on there, that's fine as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm just trying to kind of bounce back from a pretty rough situation. Like a lot of writers dream of getting published, and unfortunately they don't, or it takes them a long time, or they're forced to self-publish or whatever. And I was lucky enough to be published for about a year and a half. And then I thought, something really great was going to happen, and I was so close to achieving my dreams. But like I said, it just wasn't meant to be. And, we're going to pick up the pieces, and we're going to try to put things back together and make it happen. But in the meantime, I'm very passionate about Codename Moa. And like I said, I already have the manuscript for book 2 done. Book 1 is obviously done. I have technically 2 prequels because the Mirror Story is also a prequel. And all of that is done. And I'm halfway through book 3. So if I do get picked up, finishing book 3 should not be that hard for me. And in the meantime, I get to play around in the world of sci-fi and see what that's all about. And see where I take that story. And hopefully people like it and enjoy it. And hopefully I'll have some concept art of the characters very soon to show off to you guys, because I have some things being worked on already. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for checking out this video and finding out kind of what's been going on with me and my situation. I'm going to try to do more of these YouTube videos going forward, as well as uploading the live readings of Codename Moa. So please stay tuned for that. Most of that will be happening most likely early May as I kind of work on the story. Like I said, I just started writing it this week, so only about like 20 or so pages in. So I need to write a lot more of it if I'm going to be able to do this weekly and consistently. But yeah, I think it's going to be fun, and I hope you guys check it out. Thank you for watching.